Friends, success in life is never just the result of hard work or talent. True success is born from mental patience, emotional balance, and strategic wisdom. We often believe that if we simply do our best, victory will follow. But history and experience show us something deeper. Many times it is not brilliance alone, but strategy and restraint that create lasting success. To master this, we must adopt a philosophy. Stay humble, read the situation wisely, and handle powerful people with care. Today we will understand the very first law from Robert Greene's famous book, The 48 Laws of Power. Never outshine the master. This is not just advice, it is a strategy for life. If you learn how to deal with powerful people, not only will your path be smoother, but your progress will also be secured. The story of Caesar. Long ago in a small Italian town lived a young man named Caesar. He was gifted, not only in music but also in literature and philosophy. Yet his fame came from music, where he studied under a renowned guru who had great influence in the royal court. One day the guru offered Caesar a priceless gift, an opportunity to perform in the king's court. It was the golden chance of his life. Caesar sang with passion and his voice mesmerized everyone. The king praised him, courtiers applauded, and his talent shone brightly. But in this wave of appreciation, the guru's role was forgotten. Caesar too treated the moment as his personal triumph. Slowly, the guru began to distance himself. The opportunities Caesar expected disappeared. His presence in the court dimmed. What went wrong? Caesar had unknowingly wounded his guru's ego. By appearing to outshine him, Caesar transformed in his master's eyes, not as a disciple, but as a rival. Here lies the lesson. Powerful people guard their importance. If you make them feel overshadowed, they will see you as a threat, not an ally. The philosophy behind the rule. Wisdom is not about shining all the time. It's about knowing when to shine and when to step back. This rule does not mean you must hide your talent. It means you must show it with timing, tact, and restraint. Respect the egos of powerful people. Share credit. Let them feel their importance. This not only prevents conflict, but also builds trust in their eyes. Take the example of Louis XIV of France, the Sun King. He ruled with great strategy. In his court, no nobleman was allowed to attract more attention than the king. If anyone did, they were immediately removed. Louis understood that power is not just about reality, it is about perception. By protecting his ego, he protected his throne for decades. A modern example. Perhaps you've experienced something similar at work. You give your best effort, yet recognition doesn't come. Why? Sometimes unknowingly, your performance threatens your boss's sense of importance. When they see you as competition, they withdraw support. But when they see you as an ally, doors open. That is why patience, diplomacy, and the right timing are as important as hard work. The Stoic connection. Stoic philosophy teaches us we cannot control every situation, but we can control our response. Success is not just about moving forward quickly. It's about moving wisely. Not every moment is meant to shine. Sometimes stepping back ensures greater victories ahead. Your talent should never become the reason for your downfall.
Law 2. Never overtrust friends. Friends, have you ever wondered? Where does the greatest betrayal in life usually come from? From enemies or friends? Surprisingly, it often comes from those we trust the most. The ones closest to us can sometimes become the biggest threat. And this is not just a matter of emotions, it is about strategy. Getting trapped in emotions is our greatest weakness. That is why we must learn to control our reactions and deal with every relationship, whether friend or enemy, with wisdom and restraint. Today, we will understand the second rule of Robert Greene's book, The 48 Laws of Power. Never overtrust your friends. Learn how to use enemies wisely. Let's explore this with a story. In ancient Greece, there was a king named Antiochus. He was admired for his sense of justice, courage, and charisma. His people adored him, and in his court, He was considered an ideal ruler. His closest childhood friend Proxus had become his prime minister. The two had grown up together, fought many wars side by side, and supported each other in every crisis. Proxus would often say, "I am not just his minister, I am his brother." Antiochus trusted him blindly, but Antiochus did not know that the very person he considered a brother was secretly plotting his downfall. As the king's fame spread far and wide, jealousy began to grow in Proxus's heart. He thought, "If all this power were mine, people would admire me too." But it wasn't just jealousy. Proxus was also consumed by desire for the queen. He knew that as long as Antiochus was alive, both the throne and the queen were out of reach. Blinded by greed, Proxus conspired with the enemy kingdom. His plan was simple. He would help the enemy capture Antiochus, and in return, he would be rewarded with the throne and the queen. To execute his plan, Proxus convinced the king to host a grand ceremony in the palace, saying it would raise the people's morale. Antiochus trusted him so deeply that he left all the arrangements in his hands. The day of the ceremony arrived. The palace was glowing with lights. The guests were laughing, and Antiochus was celebrating with his courtiers. The queen's presence made the gathering even more radiant, but Proxus's eyes were restless, waiting for his moment. Then, as the night bell rang, Proxus stepped forward with a cruel smile and said, "Now, my king, the time has come. Both the throne and the queen are mine." Antiochus was shocked. He could not believe that his most trusted friend had betrayed him, but it was too late. He was captured, and Proxus seized power. Sometime later, an old enemy visited the imprisoned king and said, "I always opposed you openly, but I never betrayed your trust. You were my rival, but your greatest danger was never me. It was your friend." Friends, this is the reality of life. An enemy's hatred is visible, but a friend's envy is hidden. That is why we must not judge every situation emotionally. Remember, emotions are not always in your control, but your reactions always are. Even Napoleon Bonaparte understood this. Many times he turned his enemies into allies by giving them important roles. Why? Because enemies are predictable. They show their opposition openly. But it was his friends, blinded by ambition, who betrayed him. The wisdom here is clear. Do not blindly trust friends, and do not blindly hate enemies. Every friend is also driven by ambition, and every enemy can sometimes be a teacher. If you remain cautious, even criticism can help you grow. Stoic philosophy teaches us, instead of wasting energy hating enemies, learn to use their strength in a positive direction. Defeating enemies is not always possible, but channeling their energy is. So, in relationships, always be honest, but equally cautious. Do not reveal your plans too soon. Keep your emotions under control. Understand human nature, whether friend or enemy, and act only at the right time. Remember, success is not just about hard work. It is also about restraint, diplomacy, and strategy. So, friends, the second rule of power teaches us, trusting too much is foolishness. Handling every relationship with wisdom is strength. Do not fear enemies, learn from them, and be cautious with friends, so their ambitions never destroy your dreams. This is true wisdom. This is Stoic philosophy. If you like this story, do like and share it. Tell us in the comments, how do you balance your relationships with friends and enemies? And don't forget to subscribe to Empower Within You, so you don't miss more inspiring lessons. Press the bell icon for updates. Remember, every journey of life raises questions, but the answers lie in right thinking and wise restraint.